Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things, and on this Sunday Stuff and Things, we have stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things you can look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. Oh, I just popped the camera here. Let me adjust with my feet with the tripod. We're also going to talk about my beginning of the year predictions for the football season. We'll play a clip of what I discussed. I think it was September 7th. So there had been maybe a Thursday night and a Friday game or something, but the main Sunday games hadn't happened yet. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do some P.O. Box packages. I got some interesting stuff. This is from a Patreon supporter. I want to open this up and see what we have, and I got something else rather bizarre, so I thought it would be fun to see what have people sent me in my P.O. box recently. I also got my hands on the Seattle Pipe Club Mississippi River, produced by Cornell and Diehl. Ooh, exciting. So we're going to check that out. Well, I'm going to show you the tin, and we'll talk about when I'm going to review that. And then, of course, we'll have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. And then we will end the show, as usual, with Patreon shout-outs and updates, what you can look forward to exclusively on Patreon. So let's get into it. All right, so what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon? Well, this coming week we will have on YouTube and on Patreon winter film shots. So it's attempting to take film photographs in the dark, long, wet Pacific Northwest winter using my Leica M4 for the most part, maybe a little bit of Nikon FE2 in there as well. So I'm just going to be talking about the process, the struggle involved in trying to take photographs when you work full-time and then you get off and it's dark, and it's always dark, and it's always wet. It's just tough this time of year to go out with a camera that isn't weather sealed, and when it's dark and you're shooting on film, it's more of a struggle. But I talk about that a bit, and then I show you the pictures that I was able to get. Somebody is calling me, my phone is on silent, but for some reason it's ringing on my computer. No, thank you. And then next week, exclusive to Patreon, will be, I don't have the tin with me right now, but we have the Cornell and Diehl Blue Ridge full review. We did the first impressions video fairly recently. It was an interesting blend. It's a vapor with some Turkish in there, and I coined the phrase vaporkish. Right? Yeah, vaporkish. So we're going to do the full review. We already did the first impressions, but now the full review. And then the week after that, we're going to be talking about my little photo walk Seattle day trip that I took recently, where I went down to Waterfront Park in Seattle. I'll show you some of the images I was able to get with that, or when I was there, and that's all film as well. So lots more coming up on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. Seattle Seahawks are playing in the Super Bowl today as you are watching this video. I'm recording this on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. I'm very excited. I'm a little apprehensive. I'm fairly confident in at least their ability to win. I think they could win this game. Whether or not they will, I don't want to jinx it, but I think there's a good chance. And I wanted to talk about my predictions for the Seahawks before the season started. I didn't go too crazy. I didn't go too crazily in depth with it, but I've discussed throughout the season how a lot of people just kind of discounted them, how people don't seem to pay that much attention to them. Watching the coverage the whole week on Radio Row when people are talking about the different teams, and nobody really talks about any of the players on the Seahawks, all the players that we know because we're local and we get local coverage, but people might mention Sam Darnold a lot. They'll mention the last Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl when Russell Wilson threw the interception to Malcolm Butler. They'll talk about that. They might mention Jackson Smith and Jigba, maybe a little bit of Kenneth Walker, the running back, but they don't talk about Leonard Williams, really, who I think is just such a really important member of the defense. They don't really discuss Ernest Jones or DeMarcus Lawrence, or just there are so many people on this team who are so cool and so interesting, and nobody really discusses it. It's just this weird Pacific Northwest thing. I don't know why they get ignored, but they do. But let me play a clip of what I said before the season. This was the September 7th version of Sunday Stuff and Things. And here's what I said about the Seahawks. It's weird that the Seahawks are... It's changing a little bit as we get closer to the season, but a lot of the pundits out there were downgrading the Seahawks and giving them, I think like the over-under for their win total was like 7.5 at one point. A lot of people were predicting they would be 4th in the NFC West. There's a lot of doubt around Sam Darnold as their new quarterback. They got rid of DK Metcalf. They got rid of Tyler Lockett. You people are all stupid if you think the Seahawks are going to be 7 or 8 wins this year. They won 10 games last year. Their defense by the end of the year was a top 10 defense, and it's only going to get better. Most of the personnel is coming back, and they have added pieces. Mike McDonald's defense is going to be very good this year. Sam Darnold will be fine in Clint Kubiak's offense. I think the running game is going to be good. The offensive line seems like it has been upgraded quite a bit. Gray Zabel, our first-round draft pick, looks like he is really going to slot in and do nicely. So I think it's perfectly possible. In fact, yes, I will predict once again, the Seahawks will win the NFC West this year. Now, will they go far in the playoffs? We'll see. But I think they're going to win the NFC West. And I think the Seahawks are going to surprise some people. It's like we're up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's weird that even though the Seahawks had that run of dominance for a while, they won a Super Bowl, they went to back-to-back Super Bowls, it seems like people still just kind of like, the Seahawks. Nobody ever really talks about them that much. Nobody thinks they're going to be that great. We're going to be pretty good. We won 10 games last year. I keep saying we. They won 10 games last year. There's no reason to think they're going to be 4th in the NFC West this year. Just you wait. No, not bad. Not bad. Now, you could say that I always predict the Seahawks are going to do pretty well, but last year I predicted that they could win the NFC West, and they were tied with the Rams for the best record in the NFC West. They didn't end up winning it because there was a tiebreaker with the Rams, and the Rams had the tiebreaker. But I don't always say they're going to be amazing. Like the year before that, I didn't think they were going to be that fantastic with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll's last year. But I was very bullish about the Seahawks before this season began, and I think that has proved correct. They are in the frickin' Super Bowl. They will hopefully win the Super Bowl today. Go Hawks. All right, gang, so what has come to my P.O. box recently? Well, first of all, we have a package from our Patreon friend, Patreon supporter, Ted Stryker. This is something... I think it took quite a while because of all the crazy weather that's been going on in the Northeast and stuff, and the South and everywhere, basically other than the Pacific Northwest. We have not had that crazy weather. And so he'd been asking, like, has it come yet? Has it come yet? I think he was getting a little worried. Don't worry, Ted. It is here now. I got a notification the other day that there was something waiting in the smart locker for me at the P.O. box, and it was your package. Let's see if I can get through this. There are multiple layers here. Ugh. And my knife has dulled. It's my little Leatherman Skeletool. I think I can get in here. Ugh. There we go. All right. Package from Ted. What have we got here? We have some, I like brown paper wrappings. I enjoy that. So there are 2 bits of packaging in here. Let me get these little bits of tape off the table. They are stuck to me now. So we have a little note. Curious to get your impressions of this blend. Hope you enjoy it. And then this has no note. So let's see what we've got here first. From our good friend Ted. Okay. Triple wrapped. What? Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Okay, get ready for some horrible pronunciation here, gang. This is Pese Canoe? Latakia flake or canoe. It is Turkish Oriental pipe tea. London. All right, I'm gonna put my glasses on. I'm getting old. Well, I still can't really read it. Latakia Flake 20 offers a, okay. Pessi Canoe, Latakia Flake 20, Turkish Oriental Pipe Tea. It offers a balanced blend of Virginia, Turkish Orientals, and Latakia. Man, this is really hard to read this. The smoky flavor is accompanied by fruity notes like plums, while the sweetness of the Virginia and woody tones become more prominent over time. So here is this tin. I have never heard of this brand, which is interesting. Produced and packed by Glidora Teas Turkey. Distributed in the US by Laudisi, which I've heard of. So this is blended and packed in Turkey. Very interesting. So this is a Turkish blend. Whenever I've had Turkish teas that were produced in Turkey, they have been very stinky, very sweaty. So I'm very curious to see what this is like. This is really cool, really interesting blend, something I've never heard of, which is rare for me with pipe blends. So thank you very much, Ted, for that. And there was one other thing. Where did I put it? Oh, I think I threw it in here without looking at it. Uh-oh. I think I mushed it up. Is this it? Maybe that was just more packaging. I think that's what it was. Okay, that's good. I was worried that I crushed something to death. Okay, very cool. So that was our package from our good Patreon friend, Ted. And that'll be a cool blend to take a look at later on, exclusively to Patreon, because all the pipe stuff has to go to Patreon. I also had, before I get to this other weird package that I got, we do have our Seattle Pipe Club Mississippi River Rich Virginia's Pressed Tea? What? Sometimes I think I'm misreading things, and then it's just because the grammar isn't great. Rich Virginia's Pressed Tea. That's weird. Spiced with Oriental Leaf, Latakia, and Perique. Rich Virginia's Pressed Tea. And when I'm saying tea, it's a euphemism for Tobacco. We have to be careful on YouTube. I don't know, that's just a weird sentence to me. But anyway, this is their packaging for it. So we now have these tins as opposed to flat tins like we would have had back in the day when they were produced by Sutliff. So some people might think that's a negative. I don't really mind either way. It says, Mississippi River appeared to master blender Joe Langford in a dream. Awakened from a sound sleep, he grabbed a pencil and scribbled a recipe before the memory faded. Next morning, those notes created a Virginia blend like no other. Mississippi River was born. The rest is history in a tin. Enjoy the rich Virginias pressed in cakes with Oriental Leaf, a pinch of Latakia, and Perique. Now, I have had, how many versions now? I had the original version from way back in the day. Then I had, have there been 4 different versions? I had the version produced by Sutliff, but wasn't there a version produced even before that as well? My mind is a blank as far as that goes. I've also had the variations of it. There was the, there was a special reserve version, I believe. I think I had a version that was stored in casks. I can't remember. There have been multiple versions of Mississippi River, and this is the newest, the one produced by Cornell and Diehl, and I'm expecting this to be really good. I didn't love the Sutliff produced stuff. I liked the original version quite a bit. It was so barbecue-y and interesting. The Sutliff produced ones, I was like, not my favorite. This I'm looking forward to. It sounds like it is a crumble cake, from what I can tell. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. So we're going to be reviewing this soon on the channel. We'll do a first impressions video. Well, on the Patreon, we'll do a first impressions video and a full review coming up. Or maybe we'll do just a blend spotlight. I can't decide. I guess because it's a new blend, or it's the same blend supposedly, but by a new manufacturer, maybe we will do the full-on first impressions and the full review. We shall see. And then finally, I had these notifications that I had a couple packages waiting for me at my P.O. box. And I went in there today and I had a notification in the P.O. box saying that there was a package waiting for me. I had to go up to the lobby and actually go speak to an employee because the package was too large to put in a locker. what could that be? I wasn't expecting anything other than the package from our good friend Ted. And the poor postal employee went back and pulled out this. Why? Why did someone send me this? It's a blind, I'm assuming for shooting beasts, but I mean, when I think of this, I think of it as using it for wildlife photography or something. It's a Pursuit spring steel blind combo, Cabela's Zone Woodlands. Spring steel ground blind, rugged, quiet, 150 denier camo material. Shoot through mesh windows. I'm not going to be shooting anything. I might be shooting photographs. Z&Z woodland camo, spring-loaded frame. So it's weird. It even comes with a little seat. But why did someone send me this? Who sent me this? I have no idea. I don't know if it's a mistake. I don't know if it's because maybe I posted some stuff about wildlife photography. Someone decided to send me a blind. I don't know. I don't have room for this. I don't know where it came from. I might crack it open and try it out at least once or something, but I'll probably just end up giving it to someone who can actually use it. But weird. Why doesn't anyone send me randomly without me asking or knowing, you know, a full set of Leica film camera lenses? That would be an amazing surprise. And not that I'm ungrateful for this, but I'm assuming it was some manufacturer just wants me to do a review on it, which I'm not going to do. And I don't remember having any emails or ever saying that I would do a review on a hunting blind. I don't know. Just very strange. But yeah, if anyone wants to send me a full set of Leica lenses, I will definitely take that. All right, gang. But now it is time for hashtag askstuffandthings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like to answer it on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings, but you probably shouldn't because nobody does, and I never go on X anyway. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can write to me via Patreon and go right to the front of the line. I'm making the gesture for the super thanks button, even though I haven't discussed that yet. Or you could hit the super thanks button under this video and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback in the comment section of my YouTube videos. First of all, we have one from @SolarLabyrinth who says, this is from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things, I've been thinking all playoffs about the video you made before the season where you were very bullish on the Seahawks. Yes, and I just played that clip. We both should have put some money behind it. As a Titans fan, I would like to see Mike Vrabel win just to rub it in the faces of our stupid owners and executives who are dumb enough to fire him, but I will be happy for you if the Seahawks win. Thank you very much. And yes, I've never done any sort of sports betting whatsoever, but I could imagine a parlay where I had done, you know, Seahawks win the NFC West, Seahawks get over 12 wins, Seahawks make it to the Super Bowl. If I had like parlayed all those together, it'd be thousands of dollars. At Megan9436 says, as someone who isn't really a sports person, I appreciate your enthusiasm about the Seahawks in this update. I'm excited for you. Thank you. Serious question though, why don't we ever hear about the Canadian teams? I know we have the CFL, but I don't know how any of that works. The last game I went to was in September 1994. I can't remember which weekend. It was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers versus the Calgary Stampeders. I don't know. I don't know any CFL teams. I'm trying to think. I know there's one in Vancouver, which is just a bit to the north of us over the border. I can't remember what they're called. The Vancouver somethings. I know CFL, it's not really, I mean, it's not affiliated with the NFL in any way, I don't think. I know that occasionally players make it from the CFL to the NFL, or sometimes they retire from the NFL to the CFL. But yeah, I don't really know anything about it. It's smaller fields, right? Is this the same thing as arena football? I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't really know anything about it. And then as a last comment, I was reading AITA, so a Reddit AITA, a Reddit page for AITA. I'm not sure what that is. And someone posted about a family member looking or booking their wedding on the Super Bowl weekend and then banning the game from the reception. This was more of an afterthought in the comments of the question being asked. His 12-year-old kid wasn't interested in attending the wedding. Ultimately, he decided to let her watch the game at her friend's house following the feedback he got in the comments. Yeah, that's... I mean, I don't care about the Super Bowl, really, if my team isn't in it. I don't watch it. so I haven't watched it for a very, very long time. I mean, occasionally I will. But the Super Bowl is not some sacrosanct thing that you couldn't book a wedding. And, you know, like, I wouldn't care that much. If I might think if I were booking some sort of event that maybe we shouldn't do it on the Super Bowl because some people are going to be very interested in this, but I don't think it's crazy to do that. I think it's weird to ban it from the reception and the parents deciding that their child should just go watch it instead of going to what to them would be a very boring wedding. I think that's perfectly fine. But yeah, this whole thing of like, oh, the Super Bowl, it's great when the Seahawks are in it, and there might be teams that I'm interested in that I might want to watch, but I'm perfectly fine just watching highlights if it's not something that I have a rooting interest in. And then finally we have, we have a few more. At December 15/17/91 says, "Go Pats." No. We have at MDB 831 saying, "Sorry, but New England is going to spank the Seahawks." No. I'm not saying that the Seahawks are guaranteed to win, but I can guarantee you that they will not get spanked by the Patriots. And then we have at Ultra Classic 01 HD who says, "On your final step with PhotoFlow 200, do you use 2 fingers or a film squeegee? Curious, from an old commercial photographer." So for those who don't know, if you do developing at home, one of the final steps you do is you'll do a final rinse with some PhotoFlow, which is a wetting agent that helps the film dry without streaking. So you might get water spots from hard water or something on your film, on your negatives. So PhotoFlow helps it. And then when you take the roll of film out and stretch it out and you hang it in my case, I hang it in my bathtub to dry. Some people will use a squeegee to squeegee the film off and get some of that extra moisture. I do not, because I'm worried about scratching it. I just use nature's squeegee, my fingers, and I just go, always fine. Never had any issues with streaking or anything. Okay, and then we have some first impressions Cornell and Diehl Blue Ridge video feedback. That was a Patreon exclusive. This is from Pentarax, who says, "I never tried Blue Ridge because it has black Cavendish in it, but may have to pick up a tin next time I make up an order. Thanks for the first impressions." Yeah, so this is unsweetened black Cavendish. I'm not a huge fan of black Cavendish either, but this is unsweetened, and I don't think it doesn't make itself known in the blend. The blend is actually quite tasty. The black Cavendish just kind of gives it body. It's more of a filler. You're not going to taste any gloopiness from that black Cavendish. And then we have Michael Berman who says, "I've been essing this for about a year, and I set a small amount aside to try a year later. Essing it now. The fig and prune plum aroma seems to add additional complexity and depth to the Red Virginia and Perique combination. The Turkish adds a little twist to the taste, just enough to let you know it's there. There are 4 blends in the Appalachian Trail series, with this and Bluegrass my favorites." I'm going to have to try Bluegrass. "I'm surprised at the under-the-radar history of this C&D series." And then finally, thank you for those impressions, and that makes me definitely want to check out Bluegrass. And then finally, our good friend Ted Stryker says, "Never tried Blue Ridge, but have wondered about it. Those sour Turkish Oriental notes really can perk up the character of a blend, but you are right. It has to be done right. Think I'll pick up a tin myself now. Cheers." Cheers to you, and thank you for that cool package of Pesekanu. So this is Turkish. I have a friend who's Turkish, actually. I should ask them how to pronounce this. Pessecanoe. So it looks like canoe, but interesting. All right, gang, thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. But now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we do our Patreon shout-outs and updates. Remember, if you would like to support Stuff and Things on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated because YouTube isn't cutting it anymore as far as views and everything else. Patreon is pretty much the only way I am able to keep funding this little endeavor. If you like anything that you see on the YouTube channel or exclusively on Patreon, you wouldn't be seeing it on Patreon unless you are helping support it on Patreon. But anyway, your support on Patreon goes to making sure that those videos continue. $5 a month gets you in on Patreon. You get access early and ad-free to all the videos that I post on YouTube, and then all the pipe stuff that I post new is exclusive to Patreon, and then the old stuff that got taken off of YouTube is being reposted on Patreon. I'm building up a nice big collection of pipe blend reviews. That is from the archive section. Anyway, every week I like to shout out those who support Stuff and Things at $25 or more a month. The producers of Stuff and Things. People like Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, The Friendly Piper, GreatGrol, Glenn, just Glenn, David Severin, Nicholas James, Kyle Whitmore, Mr. Gibson, Chris Caughey, and Ryan McFadin. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support Stuff and Things at $100 a month. People like Stolid and Dependable, Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. Oh, I forgot. What can you look forward to exclusively on Patreon this week? Well, you'll get early ad-free access to the winter film photo video. You'll get that on Monday as opposed to Wednesday. Wednesday is out on YouTube, Monday out on Patreon. And then on Thursday, from the archive, we will have GLP's Chelsea Morning. Very cool blend, very interesting blend. That review was from it was from August 24th, 2016. And that is a blend that many people compare to Penzance by Esoterica. There are some similarities, but check out the full review that was from 2016 to see what my thoughts are on that. I think I had reviewed Penzance by then, or maybe I reviewed Penzance right after it. I think I had reviewed Penzance, yes. So I had that to compare it to, and it was fairly fresh in my mind. So lots of good stuff coming up on YouTube and on Patreon. Stay tuned for all of it. I am very excited about the Super Bowl. It's really fun. Just walking around, there are so many people wearing Seahawks gear. Everywhere you go, every store you go into, there's like a Seahawks display. They're selling Seahawks-themed baked goods in the bakery and the grocery store where I go to shop. You'll just see the Seahawks colors all over the place. People have little banners on their car. People are quite excited. I'm very excited, and I'm hoping for a win. Go Hawks! Ugh. All right. Until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday. Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. They better win. They better win. They will win.